So Guerillascope was founded in 2001 as a targeted TV advertising agency, and around sort of 2000 there was lots of small channels launching, and TV's always been dominated really by a few hundred big brands and big advertisers, and I saw an opportunity really for smaller brands and smaller companies and entrepreneurs to use TV in a way that would really kind of work for them. We're not the biggest advertising agency in terms of the budgets that we spend, but we've now appeared, I think, for 2 years in a row in the top 50 media agencies, so that's across all media, and we jumped, I think, from 49th to 43rd this year. But I think what pleases me the most is that we did that purely with TV, or the vast majority of our spend is on TV. In addition to that, it's the number of advertisers we have. So since we launched our own TV ad campaign in October 2012, we've represented more brands and put more brands on TV than even the biggest agencies out there. So we have a real mixture of clients. The great thing that I love probably the most is that we get to work with lots and lots of business owners and entrepreneurs. We have a few bigger companies where we work with their brand managers and their marketing teams. But really it spans a real cross-section. There's only a few hundred brands really that dominate TV. In total, there's probably less than a few thousand that have ever advertised on television. So when you consider how many hundreds of thousands of businesses advertise with Google, with Twitter, with Facebook, a lot of them are not doing TV because they probably don't know how to do it. It's a little bit difficult. It requires making an advert, it requires dealing with TV stations, so it's not something that you can set up in your own bedroom and have live in a few minutes as you could with an AdWords campaign. So we're really trying to make it easy for people, bring down the barriers, make TV something they can test. We try and de-risk it for them, so if people want to start with a very small budget, then we allow them to do that. Once they see it working, once they see a spike in traffic to their website, good conversions, then they're comfortable spending more and perhaps moving on to bigger channels and larger campaigns. I think TV is the most powerful medium, and it's the most, one of the most responsive, the most emotive. So if you're trying to convey what you do, what your business does, if you're trying to change the perception of your brand, then TV is a great way of doing it. You can reach 70 or 80% of the country in a matter of days. So again, it's great if you want mass communication. If you want to target a very, very specific audience now, again, there's over 300 TV channels. So whereas in the old days people would be watching a program until the program they wanted to watch came on, that doesn't happen anymore. So people are self-segmenting themselves, which makes it very easy for us to reach the audience that our clients are looking for. So the perception of TV is very much that it's a very expensive and risky medium. So normally the first thing we do when we talk to people is try and explain to them that that isn't the case, you know, and actually yes, you can spend hundreds of thousands of pounds on a spot in the final of X Factor, and those tend to be the kind of prices that people see in the press and get quoted. So whether it's Coronation Street costing £60,000, you know, that's the perception that people have, or they'll hear of the Super Bowl where it's $1 million for an advert. As I say, we run our campaign every month. We probably spend on average £10 or £15 per placement of an ad. So we might book 20 or 10, 2 or 3,000 adverts, and that would cost us around £15,000 or £20,000. I guess the most fun is seeing it work, and we get that feeling a lot where clients give us good positive feedback, and we see maybe they ask us to pause the campaign because their websites have crashed or they've had too many deliveries. I mean, I love, you know, the team. We have a great time working together. We travel a lot together. We go on conference every year, and that's always fun. But yeah, really I enjoy meeting interesting people, finding out about interesting businesses, and seeing it work.
I think now more than ever, there's a lot more flexibility within the TV market. There's certainly a lot more channels than there used to be. At Channel 4, we've obviously got all of the Channel 4 portfolio, but we also have UK TV channels and BT Sport. Some of these channels have a lot smaller viewing audiences, but obviously great content in there and do very well for smaller advertisers. So it allows advertisers to target specific audiences, perhaps not at the same larger budgets that they were used to on the more main terrestrial channels. But obviously another factor to do with this is that you can obviously isolate certain day parts within the day. Targeting on daytime and off-peak can be incredibly cost effective and give you a large amount of frequency, so more bang for your buck essentially.
I guess the first milestones were getting our first client, and that was a lot of hard work. I remember having to plan for over and over and over again to get the business. Once we got that up and running and it was successful, I guess the main challenges we had were funding the business, making sure we could get credit lines with the TV channels. Once all that was in place, seeing our business grow and hit the £1 million turnover, then 5 million, and now we're getting close to 10. But the main, I guess, thing that makes me happy is that we're now one of the biggest advertising agencies in terms of the number of clients we represent on television. Since we went on TV back in October 2012, we've represented more than 150 brands and helped them launch onto TV, which is more than any other advertising agency in the UK.
So I'm the content manager at Guerillascope, which entails communicating the brand's image, values and unique selling points across a suite of online platforms. I kind of just, I really bought into the brand's ethos. You know, it's a small business, we all look out for one another, you know, we're all ambitious, we all have this hunger to grow together, and it's just lovely working with a team where everyone supports one another, and you know, it's such a forward-thinking philosophy as well, which I particularly like. And I think, you know, the fact that we have this focus on helping small businesses to grow is particularly appealing to me.